You keep telling yourself that because other people have been telling you that. And because of that, you've allowed those people's opinions to change your perception of self. If you clicked onto this video, and I hope you do take action with it. If you don't take action, you don't care about yourself. Boom! What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Don Uncensored, channel where we talk about tips, tricks, and knowledge as we go through our self-improvement journeys. Today, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into it. Today, we are talking about validation. Why is validation hurting you on your journey to success? Now, there are multiple reasons why validation can actually either be a deterrent or a stimuli and a boost towards you for your journey on success. When you go through this journey on this road to success, you're going to experience the need or the want for validation. And see, now the problem with this is that validation can come in either one of two things. It can either come in self-validation or it can come in outside worldly validation. So let's really get into it on why validation from other people is actually going to hurt you on your journey to success. So, number one, you can't manifest. Now, the thing with validation and manifestation, they go in hand. Validation and manifestation is something that you need to have. See, when it comes to manifestation and manifesting the reality that you want and manifesting the things that you need to have the belief that it is going to happen. Even if you do not have that tangible thing in front of you, you need to actually believe and understand the fact that it is coming towards you. It is not something that's just going to happen overnight, but as long as you keep working towards it, it will start coming towards you. That's the thing with manifestation. You have to take the actions towards it. But the other thing that comes with it is that manifestation, at least when you start getting into it, you're going to start relying on a worldly sense of validation once you first start manifesting. I have been a problem of this myself, where I will actually start thinking about a goal and I want to get to this goal, but then I do not have the actual, the physical tangible items in my hand, so my brain can't believe the fact that, these things are coming towards me. I need you to realize, right, metaphysics, if you study even some type of atomic physiology, you will realize that your mind is the most powerful thing, because your mind interacts with the energy that is around us. Everything that is in front of us is energy. You are energy. This camera is energy. The words I'm speaking is energy. Everything you have is energy. But the thing is that the world that we've been raised upon teaches us that if we do not have the validation, if we do not have the car, if we do not have the chick, if we do not have the house, if we do not have the clothes, if we do not have the mentality, if we do not have the spirit, if we do not have X, Y, or Z, we are not that person. Because you need to be X person to have X things. But you can become X person and become X things even without having them. Your mind just has to become into a state where you can manifest that and bring it towards you. Because if you focus on it, if your attention is on it, the universe will literally will that towards you. It will start coming towards you faster. So the fact that you're trying to rely on manifestation while also seeking outside validation does not work. Because the way that it works is you're going to keep looking for outside validation. You're going to keep looking for the car. You're going to keep looking for the girl. You're going to keep looking for the clothes, the money, the status. You're going to keep looking for these things that come from the world and not inside of who you are. You're not validating yourself. You don't truly believe that you're the millionaire. You don't truly believe that you're the entrepreneur. You don't truly believe that you are handsome, you're beautiful, whatever you want to believe. You don't truly believe these things because you're still looking for outside validation. You're still looking for somebody else to come in and reinforce that idea and tell you, hey, that idea that you actually had inside your mind, you're not tripping. That's actually something that's true. You're looking for outside validation from the world to tell you that you are a millionaire. You're looking from the outside validation of the world to tell you that you are successful. You are looking for the outside validation of the world to tell you that you have a good faith with the spirit. You are looking for all these outside stimuli when you need to look inside of yourself. Inside of here, inside of this is really where everything that you want will come towards you. Because you need to understand, self-validation comes before outside validation. The only person you will get buried with is yourself. So if you cannot validate yourself and you cannot make yourself understand who you are and bring that reality towards you, you'll never be able to manifest. Because again, you're going to keep looking for the outside world. What happens when the outside world dies? If you were the only human being left on the world and you were looking for outside validation for all of your dreams and goals, you would kill yourself because you have nobody else to tell you that your ideas are actually good. But if you had good self-validation, you could be the last human being on earth and be secure with who you are and be secure in manifesting a reality that you want. You could change the world if you wanted to, even as the last human being alive, and I promise you, you'd be able to do so. But because you rely on outside validation, because you rely on the opinions of other people, you're not going to be able to manifest. Manifestation is going to be something that's going to be extremely hard for you, because your thoughts and your goals, even though your thoughts are seeming to be in line, your spirit isn't in line. Your belief isn't in line. Who you are isn't in line with who you want to become. So you keep doing these things out of alignment, so you can't even manifest that reality towards you. So stop looking for the outside validation. Stop looking for somebody to reinforce your opinion. Stop looking for the world to give you the things that you want, and start telling yourself that you are who you are. That is how you start manifesting. But if you can't get over that, you'll never be able to manifest, because you're still looking for that outside validation. Number 2, brittle confidence. Now, what do I mean by brittle confidence? The confidence you have inside of yourself is going to be something that is very low. Listen, you can tell by the way that somebody walks, their energy, their spirit, the aura that they carry with themselves, whether or not they believe who they truly are. When you look for that validation of other people, when you look for that validation of the world, you do not truly believe you are who you say you are, because you're still looking for the sign. You're still looking for the world to provide you the value that you is actually inside of who you are. You're looking for the value that is inside of you. You're still looking for that. So because of that, you don't really believe in who you are. So you start walking around with this false sense of confidence. You start walking around with this confidence of, I am who I say I am, I feel like I am, but I don't really know if I am, because I don't have the physical manifestations of what I want. Listen, you in spirit are exactly who you want to become. You need to realize that. The world has brainwashed you into believing that if you do not have the physical, you are not that person. The person who becomes that successful person becomes a successful person first in spirit, then goes and gets it in real life. That is how that works. The person who becomes a millionaire first inside of their spirit, in their brain, will become a millionaire in the metaphysical because of that belief, because of that. But if you do not have that, you have no confidence. You have no confidence in what you do. You have no confidence in what you say. You have no confidence in the message that you provide to people. You have no confidence in the message that goes on. So you wonder why you can't really get into that mode. You can't really get into that Zen zone. You can't really get into that point where you're wanting to work. It's because you have no confidence, because you're still looking for the outside validation of other people. Do you understand that, you dumb fuck? Like, you're trying to become better. You're trying to become somebody who is upon this upper echelon, and you can't even validate yourself. You can't validate yourself for the opinions and ideas you have. So you still look outside to the world for it. So then once you start seeing all these things start happening against you, your confidence starts getting broken. You start doubting who you are. You can't walk in the true confidence of knowing who you are, because you don't have the external stimuli to tell you that's who you are. When really internally you know who you are, because you can shape your own spirit by your own mere thoughts, but you keep looking for that outside stimuli to tell you. So again, your confidence is going to be brittle, because you're going to be walking around thinking like, oh yeah, I am who I say I am, but you truly know deep down in your own heart you're not who you tell yourself you are. So why do you keep trying to fake stunt? Stop trying to fake stunt and go put in the work. You wonder how you build up this confidence. You start doing that, you start giving yourself validation. When you go to the gym even though you don't want to, that's validation for yourself. When you start doing the things that you don't want to, that's validation for yourself. Once you start telling yourself, I'm beautiful, I'm attractive, I'm handsome, I'm whatever else, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm emotionally mature, I'm, you know, a deeply spiritual person, I have a great faith in God and the universe, and I have a great, whatever your goals are, if you start telling yourself that and you put towards the work, your self-validation will be built. That is how that works. Any person who's become successful has unshakable confidence, because they went through, they had their back up against the wall like this, and guess what? They knew who they were, and they started and kept going forward. That is exactly why that person could be so deep down in the hole and they'll still somehow get out. Why? Because their confidence is unshakable, because they know who they are. But you keep looking for that external stimuli. You keep looking for a person to tell you, hey, you are exactly who you tell you are. Hey, you are exactly who you say you are. Hey, everything you've been thinking about yourself, good job, buddy. That's exactly who you are. No, when you keep looking for that, you're gonna keep wandering. You could go get $1 billion, but you'll still keep looking for that. Yeah, you're a billionaire. And if you can't validate yourself, if you can't tell yourself that I am who I say I am, your confidence won't even speak out towards other people. You won't even be able to exude that towards anybody else. People won't take you seriously. Your message won't be conveyed, because you're not taking yourself seriously, because you're still looking for the validation of other people to tell you that you are exactly who you are, when you are who you are. You don't need anybody else to tell you who you are. You are who you are. So because you keep looking for outside validation, your confidence is brittle. It's an easily broken bone. You can get snapped in half just like this. One adversity comes towards you, you're gone. 2 adversities come towards you, your bone's broken in 3 different places. 3 or 4 of those things, you're dead. But a person who has confidence in themselves, who can validate themselves and knows exactly who they are, their confidence is unshakable. Yeah, it might get hit a little bit, it might rock the road just a little bit, but the foundation is strong. The foundation won't move. Sometimes, right, when you go through an earthquake, even the strongest buildings will rattle. But guess what? Those buildings will still stand. Your validation and your confidence in yourself needs to be like that building. If it is not like that building, you are not who you say you are, and you are still looking for the validation. So wake up, realize exactly who you are, tell yourself every single day, this is who you are. You know who you are. Take the actions towards it so you have the self-validation and you start building the confidence knowing exactly this is who you are, instead of looking for the outside stimuli to tell you, hey, everything that you've been thinking and everything that you've been doing is exactly correct. The moment you keep looking for the validation of other people, you'll realize that your confidence was never there. It was merely just a shawl, a sheer, a veil, asking for other people to validate these ideas and opinions for you, so that way you could feel important, so you can get the validation that, yeah, I'm actually a confident person. A confident person will have to tell other people they're confident. They'll just know that they are. So keep looking for that external stimuli. Go ahead, and you'll sit there and wonder why you can't manifest and why your confidence is brittle. Go ahead. Number 3, you're gonna have insecurities. Now, insecurities are built only off of a lack of validation, self-validation. That is exactly why. The reason you have insecurities is because you have been told that you are not this person your entire life. If you have been ugly your entire life, you do not believe you are attractive, so you are insecure about who you are. If you have been told you are short your entire life, you are insecure about your height, because that's what you've been told your entire life. If you are somebody who feels like they're out of shape, if you're somebody who feels like they're not intelligent, they're not developed, they're lacking behind in something, 9 times out of 10, it's mainly just because the world has been telling you that you are this person, right? So then all your insecurities start spiraling from there, because the outside world has been giving you that stimuli, has been giving you that reinforcement for that idea of, yeah, that opinion that other people keep telling you, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly who you know you are. And you're gonna tell me, well, I mean, I can't really change any of those, because again, that's how people perceive me. But again, that's how people perceive you. Why are you allowing the perception of others to change your perception of self? Your perception of self is more important than perception of others of yourself. So why are you allowing the perception of others to change who you are? Why are you allowing them to change the idea of who you are? See, a lot of people don't really get this, you know, this rhetoric kind of built inside of themselves, because most people's parents are the exact same way. This long string has been affecting the world for millions and billions of years, right? Millions and billions of years. But you need to understand, now that you have this, now that you have the internet, now that you have the resources, you have the ability to shake all of your insecurities off. You can go get into the gym. You can get ripped by literally just doing push-ups on your floor. You can become the person you want to become. You can make a six-figure dollar business off of your phone, off of this thing right here, off of a camera, off of the iPhone screen, off of anything you have. You can make anything you want out of this reality. But because of what you've been told by the world, because the world has been telling you, again, you need these things to actually reinforce this, you've become insecure. You've become not knowing of who you are. You keep telling yourself, well, I mean, the world keeps telling me this is exactly who I am. I mean, I can't really find any other person else who's trying to, you know, tell me otherwise, so I guess this is exactly what my reality is. No, that's not what your reality is. Your reality is actually something that's very different. But again, you've been allowing the perception of others to change your perception of self. And so once you allow people to have that much power over you, you are a slave to the world. You're going to be chasing validation endlessly from other people, because you do not have the validation inside of yourself to tell you this is exactly who you are and this is exactly who you are going to become. So again, your insecurities are going to keep stemming from this. You're going to keep telling yourself, oh, I'm the broke person, I'm the fat person, I'm the dumb person, I'm the ugly person, I'm the person who can't, you know, keep a job. I'm the person who has no discipline. I'm the person who can't work. I'm the person who can't do XYZ. You keep telling yourself that because other people have been telling you that. And because of that, you've allowed those people's opinions to change your perception of self. But if you start putting your perception of self over other people's, and you start telling yourself, no, I'm actually not that person. I'm actually a person who's in really good shape. I'm actually a person who has a really good faith. I'm actually a person who's extremely disciplined. I'm actually a person who's extremely hardworking. I'm actually a person who is exactly who I tell myself I am. Once you start validating yourself, telling yourself this is exactly who you are, and then you keep telling yourself this, but not only do you keep telling yourself, you keep working towards it, I promise you, all those insecurities are going to start going away, because somebody's going to tell you, oh man, you can't work hard, but you build a business off of your own back. So now actually, who's the person who actually did work hard? Me or the person who's still working a 9 to 5 to go, you know, clock in for somebody else and go tell them, have somebody else tell them when their lunch is? Let's think about that. Your insecurities will start going away once you stop putting the perception of others and putting that over your perception of self. Your perception of self is more important than the perception of other people's perception of you. And once you understand that, your insecurities will disappear, because you're going to stop looking for the validation of other people. You're going to stop chasing that. You're going to stop putting their opinion of yourself over your own opinion of who you are. Once you stop doing that, your insecurities are going to disappear. So once you start doing all of that, you're going to realize that you're not going to need the validation. You're not going to chase this. You're not going to be one of these people who can't manifest, who have brittle confidence and have insecurities, because you can validate yourself. You can tell yourself exactly what you want, and you know exactly who you are, because you still have the backlog. You still know exactly who you are. Even if you don't have the physical, if you don't have the tangible items yet, you still know who you are deep down in your spirit, because this is exactly what you have been telling yourself. The last one, weak-willed. Now, when you chase the validation of others, you're going to start putting people's opinions over yours. Again, it's funny how everything kind of works together, right? If you can't really manifest, it's because you're still chasing the validation from the outside world to show you the physical things. Because you don't have those physical things, guess what? Your confidence is brittle. Because you have no confidence, your insecurities are pretty much everything that you know about yourself. You don't know truly who you are. And because you have those insecurities, you're weak-willed. You can't do the things that you want to because you're fearful of the opinions of other people. You're just scared to not get the validation from the world to show you that your actions have been good. Just for what? You're so weak-willed that you would much rather not do the thing that you want, because you know it might take some time for the validation that the world's going to give you to give it to you, and you'd much rather just, put yourself in the same box that other people live in, so that way you can appease to their opinions of who they are, and you can appease to their visions, so that way you don't feel lonely, so that way you don't feel like you're scared, so that way you don't feel like you're alone. Because guess what? Your validation is only built off of the outer world. It's only built off of outer stimuli. You don't realize who you are. You don't realize how much power you have. You don't realize exactly who you can become, because you don't understand this, because your validation is still rooted in the outside world, because you're still chasing the opinions of other people. I really wish you would stop doing this, but honestly, if you clicked onto this video, and I hope you do take action with it, if you don't take action, you don't care about yourself. You'd much rather just stay in that same little hole that you've been your entire life, and not actually work towards goals that you would much rather have, because of the fact that you don't have the confidence, you don't have the balls, you don't have the cojones, you don't have anything inside of yourself to even step back and say, you know what? Even though I don't have the things that I don't want right now, I'm actually going to take the chance. I'm going to start working towards it. I'm going to start validating my own self and telling myself this is exactly who I am. This is exactly what's happening towards me. And even though I don't have the physical yet, guess what? It's coming, right? A person who's able to do that is already 10 steps ahead than your average person, right? They're already 15, 30 steps ahead, because they're doing something that the average person can't do. They're validating themselves. They're telling themselves that this is exactly who they are, and they don't need external stimuli. But guess what? The average person, they're weak-willed. They're gonna, even though they have certain things that they need to do, they have certain standards that, need to get done, they would much rather sit down and go please somebody else, because you know what, I kind of just like the way that this person makes me feel, or I kind of like the validation that this person gives me, and it makes me feel good whenever I'm inside, I'm with this person, or whatever else you're doing, right? You're going partying with friends knowing that you have to go do work. You're gonna go fuck on a girl knowing that you have to do work. You have a dream to chase, but you're still gonna go out with people that don't matter to you and actually put you down deeper into the hole, knowing you still have work to do, right? The only reason you're gonna do this is because, again, you still chase that validation from other people. You get FOMO because you're scared of the validation that won't come from you going. You're scared of that. You're scared of, oh my God, man, like what if everybody actually does have a goal, does have a good time while I'm out there? You're still fearful of the lack of validation. You want that idea, that opinion to actually be validated for you. But because if you flip it on the other side and you look at the person who tells themselves, yeah, no, you guys go ahead, I have stuff that I actually have to do, that person's stronger than you 30 times over. Why? Because they know that inside of themselves, the validation that they're feeling, they know for a fact that what they're doing has a goal, has a purpose, right? So again, they're not going to allow the validation, that need for validation from other people, to change exactly who they are. They know who they are, they know what they want to do, and they don't put the opinions of other people above them. So guess what? They're going to be a lot easier. So you need to understand, if you chase this outside validation, you're going to be weak-willed. You're going to be somebody who's going to fold at every chance when somebody else tells you to do something. You want to do something, somebody tells you, nah, that's a dumb idea, you're gonna fold. You want to do something, somebody tells you, nah, I don't think that's a really good thing, that's not a good risk for you to take, You're gonna fold. You're gonna fold at all these times because you do not have the confidence, you do not have the validation, you do not have the ability to tell yourself, you know what, even though this is gonna go on and all this external validation is in front of me, I'm chasing the self-validation inside of myself. I know I did this thing and it's a good thing that I did it. Once you start chasing that instead of chasing the validation of others, and you start putting the validation of others over your validation of yourself, I promise you, all these problems that you're experiencing can't manifest. Brittle confidence, insecurities, and being weak-willed, I promise you, all of that will go away. You want to know why that will go away? Because I'm in the stage where all of this is already going away. So I'm already seeing exactly everything that I used to hang on to being let go, being thrown to the side. I know for a fact that I can put other things that I want to get ahead. I know I can put certain things in front of myself and get towards them because of that fact. I know for a fact I can manifest. I know for a fact I don't have brittle confidence. I know for a fact that even though you still may have insecurities, because everybody may have some, guess what? I've worked on all of the major ones. I know I have all of the ones that I need to get dealt with. And guess what? I'm not weak-willed. I know for a fact I can say no to people. I know I can chase the things that I need and I know need to get done instead of, you know, chasing the validation and opinions of other people to get me to where I want to go. So I need you to realize, once you stop chasing the validation of other people's and you start putting the validation of yourself over all of this, once you stop allowing all of these to start affecting you because you've been chasing the validation from other people in the outside world, I promise you, you'll see the life that you want to actually happen start happening, and you'll start actually enjoying the life that you have because you're going to start seeing the things that you want because you've been validating yourself. Conquer validation, you can conquer it all. Be a conqueror.